Welcome back, and today let's talk about an NBA great that doesn't quite get the respect I think he has earned. A player that came into the league a winner and left on pretty solid terms. That player, of course, is the big fundamental, Tim Duncan. Now, this is my series known as Hot Take, so this will be less scripted and more just my free-flowing opinions. The gist of this hot take is that Tim Duncan is flat out one of the greatest players to have ever touched the basketball. I'll go a step further and say that without a shadow of a doubt, Duncan is the greatest power forward to have ever played. A quick sidebar, I will say, Duncan actually played more than half of his career at the center position. However, that happened mostly after the 2004 season and beyond. But my position still stands that he was the greatest four. And I know there'll be those in the comments that bring up Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Karl Malone, maybe even throwing in Giannis into this conversation. In which I have to say, Duncan overall I feel was better than those mentioned earlier as a complete player. Let's compare Duncan's numbers to those aforementioned. I'm leaving out Giannis because he has plenty of career left, so he may surpass Duncan at some point. Just look at their career numbers. Looking at these, you could say, well, he didn't put up massive scoring numbers as compared to some of the others, and his other stats are solid but not out of this world. However, when we look at the accolades, it tells a slightly different story in my opinion. I'll never fight the fight that Tim's numbers are off the charts, but it has always been a matter of consistency and bringing impact to ball games on both sides of the ball, which he did at a high level for almost the entirety of his career. He has more rings than those three combined, more finals MVPs than them combined, and more All-NBA selections, as well as all defense. So he was a top NBA player throughout his 19-year season. However, how can I claim him as being worthy of the GOAT debate and then comparing him to some players that aren't even near that level? I'll tell you. But first, if you enjoy NBA breakdowns and analysis, please like and subscribe to the channel. You all help to keep this channel moving forward, and I appreciate you for that. So with that said, why should Tim Duncan be in the GOAT conversation? I've spoken many times on the GOAT debate here on this channel, so it's nothing new. And when debating or bringing who's in that debate, the range is pretty short. The constant that is Michael Jordan will forever be in the debate, and then it's normally LeBron James, and now to a lesser extent, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Although I say he should remain in the conversation for eternity. Then the only other names you really hear mentioned are Kobe Bryant and Wilt Chamberlain. And just looking at these players, they all have something in common. They're all freakishly athletic, they all were considered otherworldly scorers, and they had personality. While all fairly different personalities, they carried something extra on the court that drew eyeballs to them. Tim Duncan did not. While highly efficient and highly skilled, Duncan did not possess the God-given athleticism these guys possessed. For the flashy dunks and dribble moves you would see from them, you didn't get from Duncan. I remember watching the Spurs games where it seemed Duncan really wasn't doing much until you saw the box score and 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 blocks in Game 6 versus the New Jersey Nets in the finals. The eye test doesn't always translate to the sheer brilliance being displayed on the court. Not just that, Duncan was a beast on the defensive end, being the only player to tally 500 blocks in a postseason. Duncan was a 15-time All-Defensive player, while Jordan 9 times, LeBron 6 times, Kareem 11 times, Kobe 12 times. Now what about scoring? Because we all know when the base on the greats come up, scoring seems to be paramount as a stat. This is where Duncan might not get as much recognition because while a scoring threat, he wasn't always the primary scorer for these Spurs teams, especially as he got older. And even later with Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge will probably mean less shots for the big man. Even still, his field goal percentage throughout his career was up there with the greats, boasting a percentage of 50.6 in 19 season, and that's higher than Jordan's, LeBron's, and Kobe's. Only Kareem holds a higher percentage at a crazy 55.9%. Due to his play style in the Spurs system, he wasn't a high volume guy, but carried the load when needed offensively by being a top defender and rebounder for their team, averaging mostly a double-double through 15 of his 19 seasons. Not to mention being a 21-11 guy in the playoffs, never missing a single postseason, something most of the aforementioned GOATs have done. However, the biggest and most impressive number that should catapult him into anyone's GOAT debate is this one, 71.9%. You may ask, what does that number represent? His winning percentage. If you watch my stats versus rings video, cheap plug, I I felt that winning was the foundation of what makes up a great player in the NBA. You can have stats, but if you can't win or win big, are you really standing out above the rest? Duncan was a winner. From the day he stepped on the court with the silver and black until he gracefully left in 2016. Duncan in his career is 1,001 and 391 in the regular season. He's 157 and 94 in the playoffs. Compare that to LeBron James, whose names frequent the GOAT conversation, and LeBron is 924 and 497 in the regular season and 182 and 100 in the playoffs, while Jordan was 706 and 366 in the regular season and 119 and 60 in the playoffs. Here I have the pyramid of success in my opinion that I created in a prior video. These are the metrics I use when I consider who is or isn't the GOAT. While Jordan and LeBron check these boxes, Duncan does as well. Having nearly as many rings as Jordan, he has set a very high winning standard, and statistically, he's by no means buried beneath these other legends of the game. So let me ask you all listening, does Tim Duncan belong in the conversation? If not the top 1 or 2, is he definitely a top 5 player to ever grace the court? Or are there reasons or players you feel have accomplished more and are more deserving? Let me know in the comments section. And if you want to ascend to GOAT status like number 23 or 21, please like and subscribe to the channel. Can't continue without you guys, so thank you all for watching, and we'll be back soon.